Ukraine announces this 30-day state of emergency. So let's go live there now and talk to Mikhailo Glubokyi, who's development director for IZOLYATSIA, which is a platform for cultural initiative in Donetsk. Mikhailo had to leave Donetsk in 2014 and has been living in Kiev since. Good evening. Welcome to Times Radio.
Good evening. Thank you for the invitation.
Is there a strong sense of foreboding where you are?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit panicking here, obviously.
And what are people doing to make preparations?
Well, this situation here in Kiev is really different from what we used to see in 2014. People are panicking, but at the same time, everyone is really dedicated to the idea of protecting their homes. So people are going to training, participating in various protection groups, preparing bomb shelters. So there is a lot of definition into doing something in opposition to waiting for Russia to start the war.
What's life been like for you in Kiev since you had to leave Donetsk? And have you seen this coming a long time?
The war is here for 8 years already. It hasn't stopped any time, and there hasn't been any break in it. Unfortunately, there were attacks going on all these 8 years, and we've been waiting that situation might escalate at some point. So, of course, the current escalation obviously caught us surprisingly and unexpectedly, but in general, everyone knew that this will happen sometime.
What do you anticipate from this 30-day state of emergency? What kind of things are already happening as that starts?
Well, these measures are mostly made in order to protect people here. So, of course, we expect more police, more strategic objects, security. Probably this will lead to some complications for people on the streets, maybe some documents checking and stuff like this. But in general, I think that these measures are deployed only in order to maintain peace and actually to make people a little bit less nervous to know that the police and the military have additional watch in order to keep everyone safe.
We mentioned when we introduced you that you are the development director for this cultural platform called IZOLYATSIA. Where you were based in Donetsk, what is your old factory being used for now? Tell people.
Yeah, IZOLYATSIA is basically a Russian word meaning insulation and isolation at the same time. So it was a factory that was making insulation materials, and it was built back in 1950s. In 2005, it went bankrupt and was closed down. And in 2010, we took it over and turned it into a cultural platform that was developing arts, culture, educational programs, creative economy, all the good things in the region.
And now, what is it? I'm told it's a secret prison.
Yeah, unfortunately, in 2014, in June, a group of armed people entered our territory claiming that they're going to use it for storage of humanitarian aid from Russia. But instead, they actually used it as a illegal prison and army camp. And it's really important to explain what illegal prison means. It means that this is a place that is not allowed for humanitarian missions to enter and check what's going on there. So basically for 8 years, no Red Cross, no OSCE, no any international monitoring mission was allowed to enter. And we only know what's going on there through testimonies of different witnesses who had to survive through this prison and then wrote their stories. For example, Stanislav Aseyev, he's a prominent Ukrainian journalist who unfortunately spent 3 years in this prison. And recently he wrote a book, which is also available in English. It's called Bright Path, IZOLYATSIA, Secret Prison. And he tells about these horrible tortures and executions that are being implemented in this place.
I'm aware we're going to be slightly late to the news, so I apologise for that, but I can't conclude the conversation without asking you how you feel tonight. Do you feel frightened and scared, or do you feel defiant?
Well, obviously, we wouldn't be human if we were not afraid or we were not worried. But there is a lot of trust to our community, to people around who are not panicking, who are preparing, and everyone around is definitely ready to protect their homelands and to protect their land. So we are definitely ready for any outcomes of this.
Thank you for making time to speak to us, and I hope you stay safe, Mikhailo, and maybe we'll check back in with you next week.
Thank you so much.
That's Mikhailo Glubocki, who is